Hello and welcome to the first episode of Facts, Glitches and Oddities inside of STEM. This video series focuses on weird things, glitches, facts and other strange occurrences in the game The Evil Within. My name is Wolf. I'm a speedrunner of the game since its release in 2014. It is only appropriate to say that a lot of odd, funny, amazing and mind-blowing things have happened to me during my roughly 3000 hours of playtime. The Evil Within is a game that is definitely one of its kind. It's a clunky and beautiful mess. Therefore it is filled with really unique things. Thus my new video series will not show you the well-known things such as the RE references or the RE4 similarities. I want to show you things you are most likely completely unaware of, so get comfortable, get a snack and a drink and dive down the rabbit hole with me. Let's explore the chaotic and stunning world of STEM together, my friends. Inside the police cars in the very beginning of the game we can see each police car has a laptop in its cockpit. However, if we zoom in with the debug camera to take a close look on the laptop, we can see it has 4 folders on its desktop. The first one is called Bethesda, the second one is called The Evil Within, the third one is called Psycho Break, I believe, and the last one is called Tango. Pretty nice little Easter egg. Also, if we take a closer look with our fancy debug camera inside the ambulance truck, we will see that the patient's room is nothing special. It's the same model actually that we can enter in chapter 12, or we have to enter in chapter 12 to fix up Joseph. However, again, if we go into the cockpit with the debug camera, we can see various audio equipment where normally should be like communication devices and stuff, but here we have CD players and stuff. Here is an equalizer, compressor. Pretty cool, pretty neat detail. Okay, let's move on in the beginning area of the game. We have various blend pods scattered around the entrance of Beacon Mental Hospital. You can see I'm checking the collision with Sebastian, they are all solid. However, the ones at the entrance, the one to the left and to the right here, as you can see, those 2 pods have no collision. Don't ask me why. Again, I'm checking all blend pods here outside. It's all solid. But again, the one close to the door or next to the door has no collision. You can just walk through. The texture of the sadist's burned right arm is actually the same texture that gets used on the red metal door, the heavy, loud door. You know, you can see upon the debug camera here, and all the marks and stuff and the colors, it's all the same. It's a pretty interesting approach, I would say, to use this again, because it is actually pretty obvious once you see it. Again, I'm zooming back to the sadist. When you look at his arm, it's the same patterns and stuff, and the same color. Pretty odd in my opinion, but also cool. The door from chapter 1 also gets reused in chapter 11, right where we save Kidman, but this time as a double door. Again, it's pretty obvious, it's the sadist's arm. Right after the gondola ride in chapter 11, if you go to the right instead of progressing straight forward, you will find this hidden passage here. In this passage you can find a jar of gel, which is worth 1000 gel points. Pretty cool little thing, so I thought, hey, let's share it. At the very beginning of chapter 3, there is a super easy and fun to do out of bounds or out of map glitch. All you need for it is the handgun, which is acquired in chapter 2 and story related, you can't miss it. Burn these bodies, get up the stairs, line along this wall here. It's really super easy. Just walk around the wall. Walk up left against the wall, like hug the wall. Then hop down here, turn right, and all you gotta do is jump over this not so high wall and you're out of the area. Basically, it's really nice to do and super fun. You can explore Elk River that way. You can go swimming, you can check what's hiding behind the rocks. So I'm gonna show you that. You can see the next area of chapter 3. You can see all the wall bombs and the architecture, if you will. And once you swim to the area where it's just black and not water anymore, you fall into what we call in the Evil Within the void, because it's basically the void. So yeah, I'm just fasting forward here, making my way to the boat. Here is the area under the stairs. It's a nice little hideout, if you will. Yeah, I'm just fasting forward to show you the boat is actually solid. It actually has collision, but unfortunately we can't get into the boat to climb up. So all I'm doing from now is again just exploring Elk River from the other side, fasting forward. Check collision and make my way to the void of the other side. So here in this house in chapter 4, where we follow Leslie, we actually have a lore-related Easter egg. If we take a closer look at this picture, we can see Lily, Sebastian's daughter, inside of Stem. She's clearly in the village area of the game, chapter 3, chapter 4. So yeah, this picture confirms that she's already in Stem during the first game. It's really important, actually, in my opinion. I wish Sebastian would react somehow to this picture. This storage room here in chapter 4 has two major design flaws. First, you can see bodies to the left of the slope. However, if I go to the right here, Sebastian is still gaining height, but we don't see anything. I use my crossbow with explosive bolts to get a better representation of the line of the surface. There's some clear oversight. Maybe somewhere in the development process there were bodies here as well, but the texture got removed. As you can see, when I shoot it, it's bleeding. But we have nothing here to see. Here is the second design flaw of this room. The red wall here is actually not solid. Unfortunately, it's not high enough for Sebastian to crouch through. But demonstrated with the grenades. As you can see, Sebastian just tosses the grenades right through it. It's pretty silly. But yeah, also funny. The same thing is true for the barrels in this room. Just move it down there, kick it around with the super silly and wonky animation. But that's kind of the charm of this game. However, as you can see, the barrel just makes its way through, but on the other side there's the blue barrel and the ladder, which are solid again, so I have to move it a little bit more to the left to actually kick it through, as you can see. So yeah, just me playing around with the wonkiness of this game. Using a freeze bolt on a tripwire bomb has a cool little effect. Like, you freeze it just here, like I'm doing it here, and then you can just run through it. It won't set off the dynamite. And dynamite also stays frozen. You can't shoot it while it's frozen. You have to wait until it's back to normal again to set it off with a bullet. It's just a little bit wonky and bonkers. It's just weird and I wanted to show it off. It's also worth mentioning with these tripwire bombs, you can still disarm them and get the trap part as normal. But still keep it in your mind that the dynamite is still here. Just because the tripwire is disarmed doesn't mean the dynamite is dysfunctional. It's just a neat little trick to know for combat situations. So I'm gonna demonstrate it. I'm just gonna lure enemies over here and time my shot. Again, it's a neat little trick and basically a good to know thing. And boom, he's down. So right after the blood room, this door that shuts behind Sebastian has a weird function or like a weird trade-off setting to it with the Laura trigger. So here I use OG footage where I wasn't sure what happened, so I just tipped my feet into the water. And then I was like, yeah, it has to be the Laura trigger, so it is just pointing my sniper rifle to the door. Laura triggers and boom, the door just vanishes. In the beginning of chapter 4, if you take the path to the left, you will find a house with a big enemy waiting for you. However, this trigger for the big enemy is a bit weird, like it's on the beginning of the stairs or at the feet of the stairs. So if you take the stairs normally, like I do here, you just trigger his encounter normally, perfectly fine. He bursts through the door. And here is the first hint that it's completely scripted. You can just perform a stealth kill on him and he's down. But if we do this a little bit differently, and I mean really a little bit, just one little detail, if we don't walk up the stairs normally and we just climb up the stairs here on the side, we skip or pass the trigger on the stairs for the encounter. So he doesn't burst through the door, we can open the door, we can also kick it open, and he's just basically T-posing here. His script never kicked in. He doesn't react to contact or noise. It's pretty bad. You can also perform a stealth kill on him. You can as well disarm this chest here with a bomb in the chest and get the supplies. He will not notice you. It's pretty funny. It is also worth mentioning that the doctor just doesn't realize there is an enemy in the room, you know. However, once you inflict damage on him, punch him, shoot him, the normal enemy AI kicks in and the doctor recognizes there is danger and leaves. In chapter 9, once you complete the third brain puzzle and the main door opens, it has a neat little mechanic to it, which is basically enemies lose sight of you once you're passing this line on the door. It's pretty weird, like you can see here, they just are completely brain dead. But once I go back into the hall or the main room, they notice me for a bit, but once I go back into the hallway section, they just lose sight of me completely. I don't know what it is. Like that they just don't follow you in here and mess up the Rubik warping you script. I don't know why it is like that from a development standpoint, but it's just so evil within. If you use the debug camera here in chapter 10, you can find a very awkward and awesome developer gag of some designer put in, or some, you know, game architect, whatever you want to call it. It's just Someone put a weird painting on this area here. Takes me a little bit to find because I was a bit tired, but here it is. I'm sorry. I've tried to look at a good angle. It's like you can only access it with the debug camera, so someone had fun here. I think it's pretty cool and pretty neat. I like things like that a lot. Worth mentioning for sure. Shock bolts and the story or progress related battery packs have the same geometric properties, like the three dots, the triangle shape and the dot in the middle. So I place a shock bolt in the center of it, and as you can see, it lines up perfectly. I wonder if something was planned, like to brick it with a shock bolt or something. It's really interesting. It's a nice little game fact. So if you look at the key items on the top right here, I have a battery pack, and it's also like the same claw, you know. It's really strange. So right before we enter this room here, where we insert the battery pack, there is a checkpoint we hit. When we restart the game from the checkpoint by dying or by just reloading the autosave, we can find very interesting things when we go back. So I just end Sebastian's life here real quick. And then I make my way back to the area where the Rubik puppet is and where a lot of enemies are. So the interesting thing here is some hitboxes are still there, or like half loaded or something, but the enemies are not there. And we can basically completely make the game not know what to do. So here I sneak around, and there is normally a big enemy here, but we have a prompt for a sneak kill, and we basically duplicate Sebastian. Now the game doesn't know what to do. The game started a sneak kill, but there is nothing to sneak kill, and it's somewhat of a soft lock. I mean, you can still access the menu and reload the save, but you can't move anymore and you can't do anything anymore. As you can see, wonky movement, I play around with sprinting and crouching. It's really funny. Let's end this video on a stylish note to make Mikami-san proud. We can climb up here in chapter 4 and do a Tony Hawk-like slide down the fence.
There's no time for fooling around.
If you like this kind of content and the evil within, please subscribe to my channel and like the video. It costs you nothing and helps me out a lot. Thanks to my Twitch mods, my Twitch viewers, my YouTube subs for inspiring me, and hopefully see you all in episode 2. Thanks for watching.